What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Cryptocurrency mass adoption is happening, and it's happening faster and faster. Cryptocurrency is following the normal equation that all other technology has followed. It's a pretty basic, but it's actually a pretty sound equation. Most technology adoption has followed this equation. And that is that from 0 to 8% of the population, the growth of mass adoption is very slow and very gradual. Then once it reaches 9 to 12% of the population, it starts to pick up at a exponential speed. Once it reaches 12% of the population and up, the adoption becomes insane. Cryptocurrency is no exception. Just a few years ago, I wouldn't have seen numbers like 80% and things like that. So we're going to read this from motleyfool.com, and the link to the article will, of course, be in the description box below. 80%, it's a big number. 80% of large investors predict a bright future for crypto, new research shows. I do as well. I think cryptocurrency is the future of finance, and that you either get into the future or you become a part of the past. The key points. Cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp issued early findings of its soon-to-be-issued Global Crypto Pulse survey, which sampled 5,500 institutional investors, and that's going to be the big boys, the big corporations, and 23,000 retail investors globally. Retail investors are you and I, the average person on the street. The survey found that 80% of the larger investor group believe that within a decade, investments in crypto will surpass traditional investment options. Just 10 years. 10 more years, and 80% of the largest investors believe that cryptocurrency will overtake traditional finance, and then cryptocurrency will be the traditional finance. And if you're in TradFi, people will be like, why are you still using that old thing? It would be like going to the store, having your credit card ready, and the person in front of you is buying a bunch of groceries and things, and they're pulling out their checkbook. Your hand would go to your forehead, and you would go like, oh my God. And you would either get nostalgia of, whoa, I haven't seen one of those in years, or you'd get a little irked, like, are you kidding me? That old dinosaur technology. Go ahead, here, I'll tap my foot and wait while you fill out the check and balance your checkbook and this and that. And that's the mode of technology. I'll tell you, I remember writing checks, and it sucked. Everything took forever, especially when you had those people who didn't pre-write their check out, and then they would balance their checkbook while their groceries are being rung up. And look where we are now. Instantaneous. Balance your checkbook. When's the last time you balanced your checkbook? I bet you haven't. Because now you can just open up your app, go to your bank, and see what you have in your bank. Mass adoption of a new technology. Cryptocurrency is the same thing. Traditional finance is the checkbook of the old world. Cryptocurrency is the debit and credit cards of the new world. Over half of institutional investors have a third of their portfolio in crypto assets. Heck, just 3 years ago, you wouldn't have seen that. A third of their portfolio in crypto assets? No, you would have seen companies saying, no, we do not recommend anybody get into this nascent asset class. And now they're scrambling to get in. Congratulations. You are early in the market. Your money is parked where other people's money is going to be in the future. And all the money that is built upon the base of your old money is worth less than your old money. More than 3 out of every 5 survey respondents have a high level of trust in the crypto asset class. As they should. It's new technology. It'd be like people back in the day with checks when debit and credit cards did come out and things like that. And they're like, well, no, I don't know if I trust that. Well, they got left behind. Most people did trust it. It had its little bumps in the road. But now look at it. Mass adoption had happened. Bitstamp, a global cryptocurrency exchange, has published a first glimpse of results from its 2022 Global Crypto Pulse survey. They conducted this survey across 23 global markets, sampled 23,000 everyday investors and 5,500 institutional investors. The key findings: 80% of the larger investor group believe that within a decade, only a decade, I know that seems like forever, but honestly it's not really that long, investments in crypto will surpass traditional investment options, and 75% of everyday investors agreed with that timeline. That is some big numbers. Like I said, human beings, being human beings, as a whole, can see the future. As a whole, can solve insurmountable problems. Those games you go to at the fair that have the coins in the jar, and it says if you guess closest to the actual amount of money in coins, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies, in this jar, then you get all the money. Now, if this is one of those games that tells you how many people have guessed and the amount that they guessed, well, then it's easy. You're going to win just about every time. You take the number of people and the amount that they guessed, add up the amount that they guessed, and divide that by the number of people who guessed. Because people, in general, when you get the extremes to both sides and the middle, and you sort it all out, somewhere in the middle, between everybody's opinion, is the truth. So if you have the majority of people thinking that this is the truth, then that bears something to look at. That bears something to say, hey, this might really be amazing. And personally, I think it will. You either become a part of the future or you become a part of the past. About 54% of retail investors say they would use crypto for online purchases. Broken down by investor class, 67% of retail respondents said crypto is a trustworthy investment, and 70% of institutional investors surveyed agreed. These are big numbers. This is mass adoption. Give it another 5 years, I bet these numbers go up. Because just 5 years ago, these numbers weren't anywhere near this. People were talking about cryptocurrency and the Silk Road and negativity and this and that, and no. And now we're seeing yes. Among large investors, more than 2/3 actively recommend crypto in investment strategies. More than half, or 54%, of institutional investors have a third of their crypto... I'll reread that. More than half, or 54%, of institutional investors have a third of their portfolio in crypto assets. Wow. Just a couple years ago, the most they were recommending was exposure. Just get exposure. We don't recommend you get into it. If you want exposure, we can help you get some exposure to the market. Now they're saying a third of their portfolio in crypto assets. That's crazy. More than 3 in 5 survey respondents have a high level of trust in the crypto asset class. While an exact issuance date for the final comprehensive report was not provided, this early snapshot bodes well for a bullish future for the cryptocurrency sector in general and its broad acceptance among the largest and the smallest investor groups. Mass adoption. Mass adoption is happening. And you want to be a part of the future. You don't want to be the person holding the checkbook while everybody else is standing in line, tapping their feet, looking at you like you're a dinosaur. Go ahead, write your check, balance your checkbook, and move on so that way the rest of us can swipe our card and get on with our day. And that's the comparative of the future. Today's credit cards, debit cards versus tomorrow's cryptocurrency. It's the same span as yesterday's checkbook versus today's debit and credit cards. I thank you for your time. You guys are patient. You guys are amazing. You guys have a bright future. I will see you guys on the next one.